Welcome back, everybody. You are now listening to the Morning Grizz podcast, where we talk about sports in a raw and authentic way. Sports for the fan, from a fan. It's your boy Joseph, aka Jay with the Grits, and I am back once again. And I definitely want to say thank you for everybody tuning in to this episode. And please do not forget, press that like button and also subscribe to the channel so you can stay connected to everything that we have going on with sports and culture. And because we do talk a lot about culture, the first thing that we're going to start off today with is with Kyrie Irving. Hey, look, y'all, my man Kyrie Irving has been balling this year. He sat out some games, maybe about 10 games for the whole year because he wanted to do some philanthropy. He wanted to get involved with the community and bring joy and bring light to a lot of people. We all know the demand that Kyrie has upon him for having to be a leader for the Brooklyn Nets. Me personally, look, I'm on a push for Kyrie for MVP. The reason why is Kyrie has been a leader in the locker room and on the court. When everybody thought that there was somebody to step up and they needed either James Harden, Kyrie Irving, or even Kevin Durant to step up and to be that voice, in my opinion, I feel that Kyrie has been born for that leadership. He's taken on the responsibility. The team is clicking. James Harden is averaging near a triple-double. He's having about 11 assists per game. And I think one of the reasons why, it's not to say that James Harden wasn't great, y'all. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that Kyrie Irving is a big influence on the Nets. He's a big influence on James Harden, and he will be a big influence on Kevin Durant when it all comes down to it. When Kevin Durant gets back on the court, him and James Harden can function. We saw that they can function together. There's no problem there. They did win a couple of games, and both of those games were very, very close. Down to the wire, last shot type of games. But when Kyrie is on the court, it adds a whole different dimension to the team itself. The team is better when Kyrie Irving plays. And Kyrie Irving for the season is averaging 27.4 points a game, 4.7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Now, you tell me that's not MVP numbers, me and you're going to definitely have a conversation in the alley somewhere. But I'm going to tell you this. The reason why Kyrie is leading off the show is because Kyrie Irving wants Kobe Bryant to be the logo of the NBA. And right now, I'm going to take a little time out to have everybody listen to exactly what Kyrie Irving had to say about Kobe Bryant being the logo.
Well, number one, I think as a native black man, as a native black king, I think it's part of my responsibility to continue to push our generation, our culture forward. I know that it probably was met with some people that love it. I love the idea, and some people that don't like it. But my thing is paying homage to the example that has been set by that man. He's 17 years old. We're drafting guys even younger now, guys that are coming out of different places. And he was the standard for our generation, and he will continue on. And I want that to be something in history that is changed forever, that our generation was part of that change. And, if that means that I have to lead that forward and get the conversation going, then great. But, I think he deserves it. I think his family deserves it. I think we deserve it, as seeing greatness personified as Mamba. And anyone that's coming into the league should know that that's the example that was set. And I'm only saying that just speaking about Kobe. I don't want to discredit any of our other historical players that have done amazing things for the league. I'm not discrediting anyone when I say that Kobe should be the logo, because we have so many examples of guys that did things on and off the floor that were leaps and bounds for us to be where we are now. So I'm just saying present day, I think it was 224. It was only a year after the memorial. And, it's just a refresher that this is the guy for us. He's the guy for me. He's my mentor, more than just an inspiration. I took a lot of knowledge and wisdom from that guy, and he's always around me. And Gigi's always around me. And I know that in the women's game, we want to continue to push things forward, but in our game too, we want to set a standard and a precedent. Like this is excellence. Kobe Bryant logo. Yes, needs to happen. I don't care what anyone says. Black Kings built the league. It's exactly what I meant. It's exactly where I stand.
Hey, look, and I'm all for Kyrie Irving in everything that he said. Because when you really pay attention to Kyrie Irving and you really listen to what he was saying, is that he was saying that Kobe was a mentor to him. And Kobe, not just to him, but Kobe was an example for all the NBA players to model themselves after. Just the way that he approached the game with a lot of passion, with a lot of dedication, with a lot of fire inside of his game. He did everything that we could ever imagine or ever expect a player to do. Shaq was one of those players who didn't show up. Uh, he came to work out of weight. Joel Embiid over these last few years before this year, he was coming to work out of shape. There's a lot of people who came to play but didn't have the mental fortitude to want to win every single game. And Kobe Bryant did that. Kobe Bryant was a mentor, not just to Kyrie, he was a mentor to Jason Tatum. He was a mentor to Devin Booker. He's been a mentor to a lot of these athletes that we currently look up to, like Kevin Durant, like Kawhi Leonard. And to say that Kobe Bryant should not be the logo, it kind of baffles me. You know, look, y'all, two of the most probably prominent people that played this game that most people try to model their game after, or at least look up to, one was Michael Jordan, and the second one is Kobe Bryant. A lot of these players that are in the league now have looked up to Kobe Bryant. They saw him playing all-star games. They saw him shooting clutch shots at the end of the game when the game was on the line. They developed the Mamba mentality along with Kobe. They shot down with they were there on the court with the shot clock going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in their backyard, hitting that game winner swish and yelling Kobe at the end. Matter of fact, Anthony Davis did that same thing when he was inside the bubble with the Lakers in the playoffs. After he hit that three-point shot, he yelled Kobe. Come on, y'all. Kobe has a really big influence on the league's players that are currently involved. And because of Kobe, there's a lot of players that have really elevated their game. And we're seeing it this year. We're seeing a lot of players on the East. We're seeing a lot of players on the West really elevating their game, taking it to a whole different level. To me, without Kobe Bryant and his mentality and the imprint that he has placed on his game, a lot of superstars will be looking for direction. A lot of superstars and young superstars will be currently trying to figure out which way to go. Kobe Bryant was a mentor to players like DeMar DeRozan, even Isaiah Thomas. Look, even if you look at the sneakers that everybody wears in the league right now, what do they wear the most? They wear Kobe Bryant's and they wear Kyrie's. Okay, they wear Jordans too. But I'm not saying that, Jordan has to be the logo because I don't think Jordan should be the logo. Look, Jordan has its own brand, but the thing that Kobe did was change the game culturally. Jordan logo you see already implemented side by side with Nike on the jerseys. That's one thing that they're doing. And I don't think Jordan could be the logo of the league anyway because Jordan's an owner in the league. So because Jordan is a majority owner in the league, and I don't quote me on this, guys, because I haven't researched it, but this is just my theory. This is just my thought, is that Jordan cannot be the logo of the NBA because Jordan is an owner of the Charlotte Hornets. And so because of that, look, all I'm saying is we have to really listen to what Kyrie Irving is saying. A lot of people think that Kyrie Irving is a little out there, but I think Kyrie Irving is just really, really true to himself. He's one of these players that think that the league can do on its own. These players, these black players, he called everyone black kings, that black kings have built the NBA. These black kings that have built the NBA, if they understand the platform that they have, if they understand the strength that they have in numbers, the NBA can't prosper without players. And it's not to say that you want to have some kind of revolt. It's not to say that you want to take over the NBA, but the NBA cannot prosper without its players. And you have a lot of people out there saying that Kyrie, and these are fans that I've come across on these Facebook chat groups, on these Instagram messages. These are players or people that I have come across in conversations with them saying that Kyrie Irving should have conveyed his message a lot differently. Okay, then, well, how? How should Kyrie have conveyed his message a lot differently? Because of the owners? In respect to the owners? At the end of the day, the owners have one bottom line, and their bottom line is to make money. It's to make money off of these players that they put in front of the media, that they market around, to have these players allow them to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. So what Kyrie Irving has said very, very recently was, look, we don't have to fall under that particular format. If we really wanted to come together as NBA players and having strength in numbers, we can create our own league. He wasn't saying, hey, forget the NBA and let's just create our own league. He was just keeping people aware of what the situation is. A lot of players are fearful of what's next if they stand up for something. And that's the reason why I appreciate Kyrie. He's one of my favorite players in the league. He's my favorite player in the league right now, Kyrie Irving, just because of everything that he stands for. You know, he believes in himself. He believes in Black culture. He believes in the people, and he believes that there can be a change. And when you look at or you listen to what he has said about Kobe Bryant and how Kobe Bryant is the standard of excellence, there is something to be modeled after. There is something to be said about Kobe Bryant, who has influenced the lives of so many people, so many players that are currently in the league right now. How can you not want him to be the logo? And at the same time, the NBA is always trying to find a way to monetize. What has the NBA done this year? The same thing that they did last year. The NBA is implementing the Kobe rules once again in the NBA All-Star Game. Another format that the NBA had, one, to represent and to say thank you, to give appreciation for Kobe, but it's also going to bring in ratings. It's also going to monetize and bring in more advertisement. It's going to bring in more and more people to watch this game. So what happens if the NBA does take on this logo? It's going to bring in more money. Look, let me tell you, when Kobe Bryant becomes the logo of the NBA, more jerseys are going to be sold. The old jerseys with the Jerry West logo are going to sell out completely. I'm not saying that they're just going to sit on the shelves. Those jerseys are going to sell out completely because somebody is going to say that this jersey is going to be worth something at the end of the day. And then when you get that brand new jersey, do you even remember Jerry West playing in the league? I don't. And from what I understand by doing some research is that Jerry West was never confronted on being the logo because of his name, because of his greatness, because of his stature. Jerry West, because of the way that the ball was positioned when he was crossing over, it looked really good so that you can really paint a picture of somebody dribbling a basketball. And that's the reason why Jerry West became the logo. It wasn't because of who he is. This is because of who somebody is. This is because of what the game has become, because of who somebody is and what this person has put as a sacrifice for playing the game, what he has allowed himself to be as far as a teacher to others that are currently playing the game. And so this is more of a respect thing. And there's a lot of players that are in the league that respect Kobe. But if jersey sales, I would expect jersey sales to go out of the roof. You would not find any jersey, the new LaMelo Ball jersey with the Kobe logo, that's going to sell out. You know, a Bam Adebayo jersey in Miami, that's going to sell out. A LeBron James jersey with the Kobe Bryant logo is going to sell out. The NBA can definitely find a way to monetize with Kobe Bryant there and forget about the owners. The owners will find a way to say yes because this will allow them to have more money in their pockets, more revenue, more shares, more streaming of the NBA on YouTube and other platforms where you can put the marketing that Kobe Bryant is now the logo of the NBA. China, Europe, they all adore Kobe Bryant. For what reason can you say you would not want to have Kobe Bryant as a logo other than, oh, well, if Magic Johnson dies, you're going to want to be the logo. Oh, well, if Kareem or if Jordan dies, they're going to want him to be the logo. Why? Look, they did great things in the game. They contributed to the Basketball Association, and they still contribute to the NBA. But their impact is not as great and prominent of what Kobe Bryant has placed on the NBA It's players now, right? And even Kyrie said it. It's no disrespect to anybody that's played in the past. I understand your greatness. I understand the history of the NBA, and I appreciate everybody that has came before me that has really put an imprint on the game to make to make the game what it is currently. But all he's saying is that all respect to everybody, Kobe Bryant is a mentor, and Kobe Bryant really had an imprint on the league. And so, hey, I digress. I'm just saying Kyrie should be MVP or at least have some MVP consideration, right? Some consideration because he did miss a few games, and I think he's missed about 10 games overall. So I don't even know if he will qualify for the MVP race because of the amount of games that he's actually missed. But he does have a lot to say when it comes to the change of the guard and then when it comes to the change of the logo in the NBA. But there is one player who should be considered the MVP of the league, none other than LeBron James. LeBron James of the LA Lakers. Look, we all know LeBron James has been playing about 36, 37, sometimes 38 minutes a game. It went a little higher when AD went out of the season because he's been hurt. But LeBron James has told everybody when the Lakers were on their losing streak, pump the brakes, skirt, back up off my bumper. Look, it doesn't matter how many minutes I play. It doesn't matter if we lost a few games. We're just preparing ourselves for the future because right now doesn't define us as a team and what we're going to be and where we're going to be positioned at the end of the season. And at the end of the season, LeBron James has only one way to go, and that way is straight to the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals is awaiting for LeBron James. We talked about it earlier. Ratings. We talked about it earlier. Popularity. Kobe Bryant logo. Look, LeBron James put it down last night against the Portland Trailblazers. 27 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. You try to tell me that a 36-year-old right there is slowing down? You trying to tell me that a man putting up these numbers needs some rest? Tell me exactly what LeBron James hasn't done. Why? He's not giving you 40 points every night? I know we expect great things from LeBron James, and he does everything that we expect for him to do. Greatness at its finest. Look, I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, but I understand and I appreciate greatness when I see it. I am an LA Lakers fan, and the LA Lakers are doing everything that they can, and I know they will make another move or two. I'll probably try to get rid of Kuzma. Look, $40 million contract on that extension, that's a very tradable contract from a player who's kind of sought after around the league. Some people say that Brandon Ingram should have stayed. I wanted Brandon Ingram to stay, but working with LeBron James, because how ball dominant LeBron James is, and because Brandon Ingram, when he does get the ball, he does isolate a lot of times. He holds the ball very, very long. That type of offense cannot pair together with LeBron James and Brandon Ingram. So I get the idea of wanting to have Brandon Ingram on the team during that time, but it wouldn't work. Kyle Kuzma, we're seeing it now. To me, it still doesn't work. He has gotten better. He has placed himself more. He's been more assertive. He's been more aggressive, especially on the defensive end. He's been more assertive with trying to find his shot. He's been even more creative when it comes to finding his shot. But during this 4 games, this is really a deciding factor for me because I saw Kyle Kuzma in my eyes a little bit. He was evolving into a player who I felt could really be that third option. Really be that third option. Tell me, have you really seen or really thought that Kyle Kuzma is really the third option? Like, really, really be real with yourselves. Is Kyle Kuzma a legit third option for the Los Angeles Lakers? I just wanted y'all to take a little time out right there. That's why I left some pause. Because Kyle Kuzma is not a third option, y'all. Kyle Kuzma can't score the ball when we need him to score the ball. Kyle Kuzma can't stop nobody on defense when we need a defensive stop. Kyle Kuzma's erratic. He can't make the right pass when we need the right pass made. Does he do these things at times in the game? Yes, he does. But when it comes down to clutch time and we need a really big basket, who can we rely on? The Lakers were so much better, not when Kyle Kuzma was on the court, but when Dennis Schroeder was on the court. That is somebody who LeBron, I'm sure, chose. That is a guard who came in saying that he does not want to come off the bench, but he wants to start. That's dedication. That's hunger. That's passion. And that's also backing it up. Because when he gets on the court, he is legit. You cannot tell me that you would rather have Kyle Kuzma over Dennis Schroeder. And you cannot tell me that having Dennis Schroeder on the court doesn't make the Lakers better. Because it does. With Kyle Kuzma on the court, I'm not saying it doesn't make the Lakers better. It can make the Lakers better, but there's a lot of times where he hurts the Lakers. I would definitely trade him, and I would definitely trade Marc Gasol. I would get them out of LA as quick as possible. Kuzma, yeah, because now you have some value where you can get a really qualified high 3-and-D player. And without Kuzma, and you can have a guy who can really knock down the three, who can really play defense, or you can go ahead and get a big man. I would love to see Andre Drummond on the LA Lakers paired with another 3-point shooter. And you have LeBron James. The only thing I need LeBron James to do is to stop shooting from the logos, LeBron. Please stop shooting from the logos. But one thing I will say is this. The Lakers will make the NBA Finals. It's something that I felt from the very, very beginning of the season. And ever since the Brooklyn Nets have made that trade to add James Harden to their roster, I'll continue to say it. They look excellent without KD. They look very, very good without KD. I really feel that Kyrie Irving is the catalyst. He's the most important piece to the Brooklyn Nets. But end all be all, the Brooklyn Nets will not make the NBA Finals. Let me say it again. The Brooklyn Nets will not make it to the NBA Finals. You have to outscore the opponent is their mindset. But the mindset around the league is you have to play defense to win championships. Look what happened with the Miami Heat last year in the bubble. What did they do? They played defense, and defense gets you there. Yes, the Miami Heat have not really played ball the way that we've seen in the past. Jimmy Butler was hurt a little bit part of the season. He's back now. Bam Adebayo is playing. This team is almost at 500%. I think they're at 17 and 18 right now on the record. So that's a team that you really have to watch out for when you're coming out of the East if you were the Brooklyn Nets. There's a lot of teams, if you were the Brooklyn Nets, that you cannot sleep on. There's a lot of teams that have been together for some time, for 3 years, for 4 years, that have really built camaraderie and cohesion. And you cannot take these teams lightly. They might not be as offensively sound or as gifted as you guys might be, Brooklyn. But when you look at the Boston Celtics and the injuries that they have had, but when you look at the emergence of Jason Tatum and you look at Jaylen Brown and you look at the players that are around them, they still have a solid team. Marcus Smart will be coming back. Kemba Walker is back in the lineup now. When you get this team together, defensively, they can shut you down. Jason Tatum is not scared to make a big play on defense and or offense. Jaylen Brown is not afraid of the big moment either. When you look at the Toronto Raptors, look, they don't have the firepower maybe that Brooklyn Nets might have. But in the league, how many teams do? But when you look at the Toronto Raptors, they went to the finals twice, or Eastern Conference Finals twice. They went to the NBA Finals. They won their championship. They still have the main core of the team. Kyle Lowry, OG Anunoby, Norman Powell, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. Must I go on? Look, this team plays defense. This team gets it done. This team understands what it takes to win and what it takes to get there. And when it comes down to the Eastern Conference playoffs and the Eastern Conference Finals, and when it's grind time, when it's really, really grind time, these teams get up in your chest. The Milwaukee Bucks, don't sleep on the Milwaukee Bucks. Drew Holiday is coming back. Middleton has been balling. Giannis, he still ain't got no jumper, but neither does Ben Simmons. And you look at Ben Simmons, the way that he's always dominated the game. There's players that might have some deficiencies, but they still find ways to dominate the game. On boards, with steals. And now you have a player like Joel Embiid that's playing alongside of Tobias Harris. Seth Curry is shooting the three ball crazy. I think the dude is shooting like 50% from three-point line. Then you have Danny Green, another three-point shooter, a veteran. He's won 3 rings with 3 different teams. He's been there, done that. Dwight Howard has done that. These guys are potential Hall of Famers. And you have a player, an MVP candidate like Joel Embiid, who has come into his own, with a coach like Doc Rivers, who really knows how to motivate his players. Doc Rivers has been there before. Have you? No. But these teams know how to really get it done. These players know how to really get it done, and they've been through the trenches. They've battled with each other. They've lost in meaningful games. They felt the hurt. They understand what it takes to win because they don't want to lose again. Do you get it? I'm just trying to speak some sense into y'all brains, man. Look, let's keep it real, okay? We got to keep it real here. And look, a part of keeping it real is that there's a lot of players right now, like Tobias Harris. There's players like Trae Young. There's players like DeMar DeRozan who probably should have made the All-Star game in a different year. But this year was completely different. There's a lot of parity in the league. There's a lot of players that moved from west to east. There was a lot of teams, a lot of players being shifted, in offseason, in a very, very short offseason. But there was a lot that was done. And because this season a little bit short, maybe that might be a reason why some of these players got snubbed. I do think that Devin Booker should have been in over Zion. Zion, to me, he's very, very exciting to watch. He's a highlight. But when it comes down to his overall body of work, I'm very, very interested to see how Zion is going to be towards the end of his career. Is he going to be somebody who can evolve and hit the jumper? Anthony Mason type jumper, that Kevin Garnett type jumper, from free throw line extended, 17 feet out, 20 feet out. Can he be consistent with that? Or is he going to be a Blake Griffin? Somebody who just jumps out the roof, Lob City, ha ha, hoorah, get your pom-poms, we excite you. And that's it. And then after 7-8 years in the league, he's not going to be anything else. I don't know. But I think this year, Devin Booker deserved to be All-Star reserve. I know he will be playing because of Anthony Davis's injury. So he was voted to play. Trae Young, another exciting young player. Exciting young talent that we have in the league right now. Probably should have been an All-Star in a different year. Let's not get it twisted, y'all. The players that have been voted All-Stars should have been voted All-Stars. The only thing is the league just got better. The league is so much better than it was last year. The league is so much better than it was 2 years ago. And I just need y'all to be real with me because I'm going to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at the league and you're comparing who's been a snub and who hasn't been a snub, at the end of the day, all these players really got to step their game up. You talk about an A game, they need the A++ game because if you really want to make the All-Star team, you're really going to have to put in some extra effort to make sure that when they call your name, you can't be denied. And that's just the facts of life, and that's just what it is. But hey, look, I mean, maybe Anthony Davis shouldn't have made it, but how can you leave a top 5 player out of it? And some say it might be political. That Chris Paul is in it. He's a president of the NBA Association or Players Association. Chris Paul's been a veteran. He's one of those all-stars who's like a perennial all-star. Yeah, that's just how the league has always been. So if you really want to get your name out there, you really want to be an all-star, you have to really perform at a high level. So the talent that we have that's on the sidelines this year, that's not going to be playing in the all-star game, I'm actually excited about that because that lets me know where the league is at. And it lets me know that the league is in a good place. And I just want to let you guys know and say thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Morning Grits podcast. It's your boy Joseph, a.k.a. Jay with the Grits. You can catch us every week for a brand new episode. Look, you can catch us on YouTube. Hello. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor FM. Must I go on? Wherever you go, whatever you do, Instagram, please make sure you follow me. Follow at Morning Grits Podcast. It's your boy Joseph. And let me know, are you with the Grits